What's poppin'? Sorry if I sound a little weird, I'm recovering from a cold, so yeah. Hopefully my little sicky voice ain't too distracting. So let's talk about The Last of Us. It was utterly fantastic. When it comes to video game adaptations, people are typically really skeptical about how they're going to turn out. From what it looks like, this show knocked it out of the park for a lot of people. And look, call me a fake fan or not being there from the start, I don't care. But disclaimer, I have never played the original game. My attachment to this show is probably much more favorable in that case, but for more people who have played the game, well, I'm sure the show is just them seeing it all for the second time. And I understand that. I totally get that viewpoint and all that. So it's definitely a different experience when I'm watching it versus when someone who's already played the game has watched it. So I'm going to be looking at it more as a show than an actual video game adaptation. And I know that can set a lot of people off, but it is still a show ultimately, so I think it's only fair. And yes, I do plan on playing the games. You can stop typing your hate comments now. So, when the show comes to overall performances from the actors, they were all amazing. I mean seriously, every actor gave it their A game and you can tell. Pedro Pascal absolutely kills it in another daddy role. I hated saying that. He has legit become the daddy of the internet though, let's be for real. But he gave a great performance and his character Joel was just great. He has this sort of tough and hardened shell exterior and doesn't want to let anyone really that personal into his life. And being this sort of lost hardened shell that eventually finds a kid worth protecting and loving. Hey, wait a minute, this is just Mandalorian. Kidding. But he definitely sold it to us. Bella Ramsey was great as Ellie and just extremely entertaining and charismatic. And I love the dynamic between her and Joel as she would constantly challenge his tough, hardened shell exterior. I also like the ongoing joke of her wanting a gun, and Joel's like, no, I don't trust you with a gun, you might shoot my leg. Until he eventually gives in and gives her a gun because he realizes she needs to protect herself. The rest of the supporting cast was really great as well. When it comes to the story, I really enjoy how we get glimpses in different POVs of what type of people would stick around during the apocalypse. Whether it be anarchists, a communal living arrangement, basically communism if it worked, and a persuasive father who also happens to be a cannibal. Fun. These elements are so cool to me, and I love the segments where we see these scientists in talk shows before the outbreak about a potential threat. I honestly wish there was a little bit more of this because it doesn't really continue after the first few episodes. I will say the first chunk of the first episode was extremely nerve-wracking and it is terrifying to see how the world will fall apart. Airplanes fleeing to a promised safe land, looters being looters, and the military deciding you're too much of a risk and they're gonna shoot you. Oh, and those overprepared society makes fun of? Yeah, they actually end up winning. Damn, I gotta get me a bestie who has a nuclear fallout shelter like that. I love the perspectives we get on current situations of the world. Also, episode 3 was just my favorite. I mean, it gave us completely new characters and managed to make their story extremely heartfelt and beautiful. It was legitimately extremely amazing. I loved every second of that episode, and it's probably one of the very few pieces of media that actually made me cry. What the hell? The Last of Us, what have you done? You maniac! In terms of overall horror, I really would argue the first episode is as scary as things get, with the episode with the cannibalist priest, I never thought I would say that, coming in as a close second. But the action itself is still extremely entertaining, and I really do like it. The cinematography in this show as well is just really nicely done, definitely cementing itself as one of the better HBO shows, thank God, and it is just visually appealing to the eyes. And to my limited knowledge and research, it is probably just as faithful of a recreation to the game as it could be. Definitely some character tweaks that work better for a TV show, but that being said, if you play the game, you're probably going to like it, and if you haven't played the game, you're really going to like it, and it's going to feel fresh to watch. I'm very curious to see how they will handle the second season, considering the mixed feelings towards the second chapter of the game, but I do hope that if an issue arises, they tweak the story a bit for the sake of the show. All in all, I give this show an 8 out of 10. A very enjoyable watch, and I would recommend you check it out. I plan on playing the game, so don't hate me too much, like I said. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe and leave a like. And check out some of my other videos I posted. And I'll catch you all later.